Hello, welcome back to the Cloud and Data Science channel. Hope we are all doing well. This is the continuation of the AJ 303 certification prep series free crash course. In today's video, we are going to see what is Azure Key Vault and how to store the secrets in the Azure Key Vault and use them from the Databricks using Databricks scope. Going to see the practical hands-on session. So we are going to talk about important concepts in Azure Key Vault, and we are going to see the lab, how to create Azure Key Vault, and then we are going to store the Azure SQL database username and password as secrets in the Key Vault, and we will create Databricks scope, and finally we are going to access we are going to use that Azure database password and username from the Databricks using the Databricks scope. Okay, let us see what is Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault is nothing but a central place to store the application secrets. Okay, if there are multiple places, then there is a possibility to accidentally delete any of the user IDs or passwords. So it is easy to control if they are all stored at the central place. Okay, and developers need not to store any of these connection string, user ID, password, credentials in their application code. Azure Key Vault basically stores, one is secrets here basically passwords, okay, and keys for encryption and decryption, okay, and certificates, SSL certificates. So these are the three main things that Azure Key Vault will manage. Okay, in the examination point of view, this is one of the important concept. So we can expect at least one question from this Azure Key Vault stores. Okay, overall from the Azure Key Vault, we can expect up to three questions, 3 to 4 questions. There are basically two tiers in the Azure Key Vault. First one is standard tier. Standard tier will encrypt using the software keys. And second one is premium tier. Premium tier includes hardware security module. Okay. This is also another important question from the examination point of AJ 303. We can expect one question from this concept. And we are going to create Databricks secret scope to access to use that Azure Key Vault user ID and password and connect to the Azure SQL database. Okay. So Databricks secret scope is nothing but collection of the secrets identified by name. So all the Key Vault user ID password for using that secret scope we can access. This is one common scope from which will contain many secrets. Okay. So we can create the secret scope using the Databricks URL and appending this hash secrets slash create scope. Okay. So let us go to the Azure portal and create the Azure Key Service Vault, Key Vault. Okay. This is the Azure portal. I already logged in. Once you logged into the Azure portal, search for Key Vault, create Key Vault. So here we can use the resource group already test RG. Okay. Key Vault, test Key Vault, Key Vault 1. Okay, this Key Vault 1. And then soft delete is already enabled. Soft delete is nothing but even though if we delete secrets, it will retain for some time. So purge production, delete purge production allows Key Vault and objects to be purged during retention period. So it will be disabled purging of the Key Vault user ID and password during that retention period. If we enable that purge Key Vault. Now go to the access policy. So here vault access policy permission model, let us keep the default one. This is the current access policy. Okay, network, public endpoint. Okay, tags, here let us give a tag. Okay, now next review and create. Now Key Vault is successfully deployed. Okay, now we are going to store the database username and password as secrets in this Key Vault. Okay, go to the resource. Okay, so here keys, secrets, and certificates. These are the three things we can store in the Azure Key Vault. Okay, if we want to store the DB password username, then we have to select the secrets, go to the secrets. So click on the generate import. Okay, now what we want is we want to store the Azure SQL database user ID and password as secrets here. Then we will go to the Databricks notebook and use those secrets. Okay, and connect to the Azure SQL database. Okay, so let us give some name to this secret, Azure SQL user. Okay, value, that is actual username is cloud, content type Azure SQL user. Okay, set activation date and expiration date. By default that is optional. Okay, enabled. Azure SQL user we have given, that is the name. Create. Okay, the secret Azure SQL user is created. Okay, now we will create the another secret password. Okay, Azure SQL PW password. Okay, Azure SQL password, we will enter the password. These are the Azure SQL database password. Okay, once we created Azure SQL password, click on create. So now we have created two secrets, one for the Azure SQL user and second one is the Azure SQL password. Now we will create the Databricks scope because we want to connect to this Azure SQL using this user ID password using the Databricks scope. Okay, let us go to the, this is the URL Databricks scope word, that is nothing but this is the Databricks URL. Then we are appending the hash secret slash create scope. Okay, secret scope name, what we can give is any name we can give, that is Azure SQL scope. Okay, Azure SQL scope and key vault DNS name and resource ID. Vault properties, let us go to that one and click on the properties. Once you click on the properties, here we are able to see the resource ID. This is the resource ID. Copy the resource ID and go to the Databricks scope. So here copy that resource ID. Okay, now we have copied that resource ID and we need to get the DNS name also. Go to the key vault and DNS name is, DNS name is nothing but HD. This is the DNS name. Okay, let us copy to this clipboard and go to this Databricks scope URL, enter this DNS scope. So Azure SQL scope, this is the secret scope that we are creating in the Databricks. Okay, secret scope is nothing but a group of secrets. Okay, Azure SQL scope, click on create. Premium tier is disabled in this work. Secret scopes can only be created with initial managed principal users. Okay, so let us select here users. Now click on create. Those secret scope is successfully created. So now we will use that Azure SQL secret scope. Okay, here nothing but, now let us comment this plain text one. Scope is Azure SQL secret scope. Azure SQL secret. Okay, and the keys, here we have created secrets, two secrets, right? In the keyword, let us go to the secrets Azure SQL PW and Azure SQL user. So Azure SQL user, Azure SQL PW, they are correct. Azure SQL user and Azure SQL PW. So this is the database user ID and password and this is the secret. Now instead of using the plain text for user ID and password, we have created the Databricks scope Azure SQL secret and we have stored this in the key vault. So we are using those keys here. Okay, so let us execute that one. Now what we will do is we are going to insert student record into the Azure SQL database. Okay, for that let us change this primary key and let us change the name also. Here let us put Bilhi. Okay, let us run this one. So okay, we need to start the cluster. Let us go to the cluster compute. Now we have started the test cluster. Okay, so let us clear the results. We have attached the test clusters to this Azure SQL Connect notebook. Please watch my other video how to connect to the Azure SQL database and what are the various drivers we need to install like MS ODBC driver. Okay, and for the other details. Okay, so now we are going to execute this statement. Firewall is not to create a firewall for this IP address. Database to create a firewall. Okay, this is the firewall. So let us go to the Azure SQL database. We will go to the Azure SQL database. Azure SQL. So show firewall settings. So here start IP, this is the IP address, end IP, this is the Azure SQL Databricks notebook. Okay, so this is the firewall. We have added this firewall. Let us save just one. Our Azure SQL connection notebook. Run this notebook. So command executed successfully. Now let us go and check the data. Rahul Sharma. We should be able to see the new record. Rahul Sharma. Okay, let us go to this server, and this is the database. So query editor. Let us log into this database server. Okay, now we are able to log into the database server. Let us query this students table. Okay, now we should be able to see the Rahul Sharma. So we are able to see the record successfully inserted. So let us summarize what we have done in this video. In this video, what our focus is basically how to use that key vault secrets here in the Databricks notebook for connecting the Azure SQL database. Okay, we have stored these Azure SQL database user ID and password as secrets in the key vault. Then we have created the Databricks scope, and we have used the Databricks scope and the key vault secrets to connect to the Azure SQL database. Okay, then we have inserted data using the insert statement. Okay, finally we went to that Azure SQL database and validated the data is available or not. So we are able to see the record successfully inserted. Okay, so we can expect at least 2 to 3 questions from the Azure Key Vault in the AJ303 certification. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe my video. I'm planning to publish more concepts for Azure 303 certification, Azure Architect certification.